Hi, in today's video, we're going to look at The Emperor of All Maladies, written by Dr. Siddhartha Mukherjee. In the recent years, like diabetes and hypertension, cancer has become one of those ailments which a circle of friends or a distant relative or a close family member suffers from. In this scholarly work, Siddhartha Mukherjee takes us through a hard and perilous journey of understanding a disease which has baffled scientists and surgeons for many centuries. Cancer as an ailment was known to human beings even before the birth of Christ. In 400 BC, the Greeks have documented the disease along with many other ailments. The thing is, over a period of time, even though the other ailments have definitely subsided, cancer has continued to surprise. The word cancer is used to denote a class of diseases which is characterized by uncontrolled, abnormal growth of cells. The cells simply refuse to stop growing or die down. Mukherjee states that even though cancer has existed for so many years, compared to other diseases, it has not been discussed prominently in history because communicable diseases have always caught the imagination of human beings, something like smallpox or influenza or polio or tuberculosis. In this book, we see that with the passage of time, as inventions begin to evolve, doctors get better ways in which they can understand the disease or treat the disease. To quote one example from the book, the author states that between the years 1846 and 1867, two important developments, anesthesia and antisepsis, actually help doctors perform better surgeries, and these surgeries help them to treat cancer patients and get a clearer picture of the disease. You get that you get that picture pretty much throughout the book. It's as if you're trapped in a dark room and there is light, and as you keep moving from one dark room to the other, the light persists for some time, and after a point of time the light goes down. Then you're trapped in another dark room for a few more decades. So as darkness lingers, there is one more sun rising up, and that guides you through the path. So you have a sequence of events which dictates cancer research, where as you move from one room to the other, improving your development and getting a better picture of cancer. It can be a randomized control trial. It can be a simple innovation in treatment. It can be a development in inorganic chemicals, understanding that they can be better used, as a substitute for organic chemicals in chemotherapy. So all these individual events which happen spread out over different parts of the world guide doctors in getting a clearer picture of cancer. But the beauty of the book is this biography of cancer does not stop in being a scientific document alone. Though it talks about the initial developments or scientific developments in cancer research in Europe, it is strongly concentrated on how cancer research and cancer treatment evolved in the United States in the late 19th century and larger part of the 20th century. This book makes you realize how important it is to have proper finance and proper social network to enable the parliaments to push through legislation which can actually help in cancer research. You look at cancer treatment, for example, it is only after 1930s that a prominent, public awareness on cancer development and most importantly financial contributions begin to pour into cancer research and development due to the efforts of many philanthropists, most importantly Mary Lasker, and the most important surgeon or the founder of modern chemotherapy, Sidney Farber. His biography is also embedded with this book. Apart from the Senate, the biggest challenge for cancer research and cancer awareness, you clearly see is the battle is with cigarette companies. Because in 1940s, cigarette companies are extremely powerful and they manufacture and advertise their products as a symbol of masculinity, and for the feminists, they advertise cigarettes as a symbol of freedom. So to break these advertisements and really move forward, there had to be many litigations in which cigarette companies are forced to recognize that smoking cigars is a possible causative factor for more exposure to cancer. But a bigger challenge of cancer treatment is within the realm of cancer treatment itself, because every 20 or 25 years, when a new development comes up in understanding cancer, surgeons are forced to recognize that the previous method of treatment which they have been using is not actually the right method, and then you need to move for something else. For example, you at one point of time you have the usage of X-rays and radiation, and one point of time aggressive chemotherapy, where extremely toxic chemicals are used to treat human beings, which are damaging to healthy cells as much as cancer cells. You have very strong aggressive surgeries in which large portions of muscles are removed, even the parts which are not infected by cancer. And only in the later part of the 20th centuries it is recognized that a large section of cancer has to do with human genetics. The biggest struggle in cancer treatment in all these years is to properly identify, isolate, and treat only cancer cells. The book succeeds because of the author's narration, because it is not just a scientific document or political document, but it is imbibed with the experiences of many doctors and, most importantly, patients and the families of patients who've been part of a bigger struggle. That gives this book a more humane touch, which makes for a wonderful read. Even as we speak, the puzzle of cancer treatment is not solved. But, one thing which we can hope from the history of cancer is that as time progresses, we will be in a better position to understand it, and maybe in a possible future, we might be able to cure it.